The elusive Tsomothang Glacier. According to me, the game changer for our summit attempt was the huge amount of acclimatization time. We spent almost a week before the summit attempt in Leh, going up to Nubra and the higher mountains. And by the time we left the entire gang, there were five of us left: Dr. Avinash, Katara, myself, Dr. Abhay, Nene, Dr. Sanjay, Soni, Dr. Nihita, Warty, Dr. Rupali, Sinha, and then Kumar joined us. And of course, Jayesh, Morvankar from Odati Travels, who are the masters in these fantastic adventure tours. So there were 6+1, and that was the crew that left from Leh and headed off towards Kanji village, which is a lovely village tucked into the corner of northeast Ladakh. And you can see on the way, you can see some fantastic spots: Multani Mitti, the Hollywood mountain faces, and don't miss having the Punjabi Paratha and the Khalsi village, which is a routine standard stop. Kanji is the last village in the horizon, and after that wilderness begins. And we began our trek from this lovely village. If you see from the other side, if you move towards the left, you go towards Kanjila, the pass. From the right, it's Leh, and then the side facing us is really the side that goes up to Tsomothang, which is a hidden mountain, and you will know as we go. Lots of river crossings because the glacier melts into a river that keeps changing topsy-turvy, and there are multiple uncertain crossings that you need to do. Our first day's walk was a gentle climb from 3875 meters to 4300 meters, which didn't make it very hard. It was short, and we reached the first doxa in Dumri village, which was all of 2 huts, and it was a doxa because people come here only for cultivation and then go back. But we had a water source. Of course, Odati makes sure that we have lovely tents. We have all the all the gizmos that we need when we're doing a tough trek like this. They don't fall short on staff at all. The second day was clearly predictably long, and we moved from 4300 to 5000 meters with some really steep ascents, and one doxa only on the way, and then no civilization. Multiple river crossings. These are very hard water. The waterfalls is very brutal, and below is cold and slippery and pokey stone. So you better be carrying those trousers with the zippers on. The rest of it is a ledge walk which goes uphill largely. We crossed this ibex skull that had been hunted down by most probably a snow leopard. The age of the ibex is calculated by the number of ridges on its horn, and this was a 14-year-old, they said. Everything else is just grim surroundings of Ladakh with no flora and fauna. And as we reached the base camp at 5000 meters, it was quite a harsh expanse with mountains all over, and to stay warm we had to keep walking, and we did that on the first day. The next day was supposed to be the acclimatization recce, but the weather turned out really crap, so we spent time figuring out our snowshoes, etc. Until after lunch it got sunny, and we went up for our genuine first recce, where we tried to go as far as we could from the base camp towards the advanced base camp. There's a one tree hill with a flag that is visible from the base camp. From there we go up the mounds, which are pretty tiring and long, and beyond that it's nothing else is visible. But one thing is for sure, that you can't see the Tsomothang summit from the base camp or even from this high point, and it's that's why it is the elusive mountain. And as you can see, much beyond the mounds you'll find the glaciers actually starts to begin. Our climb on that recce day turned out to be about halfway to the advanced base camp. It was tiring because we had to do it in the second half, though our recce party of the 2 Sherpas went all the way ahead to the base of the glacier, and because nobody had actually seen this region, no one from the lead party, and hence we definitely needed somebody to give us a heads up, and these guys did a stellar job. We slept cozy in our tents at night at a high altitude, but woke up to a chilling weather with sheets of snow around us, which soon melted away with the sun coming out, and that set us up nicely to pack up our luggage for the move to the advanced base camp. Now, the good thing in the Tsomothang trek is that the high camp is accessible to horses, and hence you can go with a lot of luggage. We in fact went with 2 tents, and we carried 2 duffel bags between the 6 of us. And though the weather looked smoky in and out, we made our start about early noon or just pre-noon on the 4th of August. We had broken up our plan to go to the ABC 500 meter ascent quite clearly, The first part to the One Tree Hill on of the temple with the flag. The next was the Unending Mounds, which we had summited the last evening. And then the rocky triple peak, which we had chosen to not summit, though Jayesh and Kumar did reach there. It's a peak full of scree. And then beyond that was the advanced base camp, which you really could see. Advanced base camp. It's 12:20. We are 5:30 on the high camp. Ow! That's Jayesh there, the commander in the green cap. We kept ascending, and it was obviously ascend, but couldn't see Tsomothang at all. And it was very curious. We kept walking through these eerie surroundings. It got higher, and at 5:30 it was pretty cold and windy.
It's the highest wind so far. It's been good walking. So, really mind blowing. No one has stepped on this land for the last 4 years. 5:30 seems like we're on Chota Summit. Right on top of the world. There's nothing above us. We're still on the approach to the advanced base camp.
So it was something like a 4-hour trek in all from the base camp to the advanced base camp.
Finally, advanced base camp at 5,556. It's a great show. Up for us. Luxury. 5,000. 50.
Like any high camp, you can imagine it was cold, breezy, the wind was making an eerie sound, and the rules were very simple that you're not allowed to sleep for 2 hours. You're given your dinner at 5 p.m. and you're expected to sleep at 7 p.m. to wake up past midnight to do the final summit push. But the best thing here was that you could see Tsomothang finally, and this is the view of Tsomothang. It's a gentle looking peak, very friendly looking, but very unfriendly in reality. It's a glacier fully covered by sheets of snow, and it was wonderful to take pictures with Tsomothang in the background. Finally, after 10 days of being around Ladakh, our Sherpa Sardar was Neem Dorje, specially exported from Darjeeling, a 12 times Everest summiter. And really, these things that Odati does are the game changers. They get the best staff for us, and this really made the difference between summiting and not summiting. He went and did a recce, and he found that this easy-looking route was really not the way forward, and we had to go around this rock patch and then go up a very steep rock hill to actually be able to summit. We spent that night, in the small tents, and we were all ready in the morning, waking up at 1:30 and then getting fully ready at 2:30 to leave. But the Sherpa Sardar said that the weather was not good and we had to stay back. And eventually we actually could start our summit attempt only at 7 a.m. as late as that. So it was a morning summit, a first for the most of us. And because it was morning, we were fresh and ready to go. We quickly made that 150-meter descent down to the snow line and started our first part of the walk, which looked like a large expanse of a chadar trek kind of a walk. And you can see that the snow was hard, and we moved it. We wore our cleats here, and it's important to wear cleats because the snow is hard and deep, and it gets very steep after that, as you can see from the foot marks here. At the blue line, this flattish snow patch started to really tilt up, and then we were roped in, and we had to do that much of a patch roped in, going really slowly, step by step. Again, here our Sherpa Sardar was kicking in snow with his ranger boots and making sure that there were little steps for us to walk on, otherwise it would have been difficult. But cleats and snowshoes are the way to go as much as you can over here. Now frying pan to the fire, because as we finished the snow line, we hit the rock face, and the rock face was an absolute vertical. It looked much worse than what it seemed from the ABC, and there were huge boulders interspersed with snow, poor grip, and we had to literally walk our way up using our hand, using our fingers, the strength of our fingers, hanging on to rocks, taking leaps of faith, hoping that the rock below us would not give way. And as we got higher and higher, the air got thinner, The gradient was very sharp and hence a lot of breathless breaks through this entire rock climb. Extremely hypoxic at every level. As we moved on, we came close to what was the ridge.
That's our advanced base camp. Flying the glacier.
That's Neem Dorje, the Sherpa Sardar.
That has the super leader. We are now at 5,000 meters.
We try to stay upbeat at every break, try to get gels,
Kumar.
fluids, but we're totally drained out. It's a very, very exhausting climb, of course, on the final summit day. And then we reach the ice ridge, which is at the end of the rock patch. And this ice ridge, though bitterly cold, is a flat. And here we again move to cleats and we move to roping up.
Roping up.
It's a hard rock climb up to the ridge. The ridge is normally a downward. It's an upward. We take it. This was the first party, and the second party below Avinash, Rupali, Sanjay and Stanzin were slightly behind us. We were moving into groups with 2 Sherpas per group each. So it's a few, maybe 100 meters ascent. That's the top of there. The final ice ridge was very, very vertical, and it was one step at a time. Taken slowly, roped up, and of course the Sardar in the front making those steps for us. And finally, yes, we're on top. Top of Tsomothang. Unbelievable. Rough ride up. That. Incredible. Everybody here. Sunset diving out. It's been one hell of a journey.
This is the summit of Tsomothang, 6,030 meters, and really feels like top of the world because there is one mountain which is 10 meters higher. We're all there. We're looking at the Zaska range here. That's Soni. There's our base camp.
The descent was going to be hard, but we spent our time taking care of the cornice behind us and took lots of photos. It's a top of the world feeling. The descent, being a daytime descent, was hard.
We walk on our way back from mountain top. Make no mistake, the descent is as brutal as the ascent. There's still a long way to go. You can see the high camp is right up there. So it's going to be at least an hour and a half more for us. Takes everything out of you, but it's totally worth it.
We made the ABC by 8 p.m, slept a second night at the ABC, cut the Tsomothang cake, and then happily walked the longest distance back, all the way back to Kanji. And it was totally a worthwhile expedition. Finally, when we reached Kanji, it was a feeling of great achievement.
We're back where we left. That's Kanji village behind. After a more than successful summit of Tsomothang village, with me is dear Gurmeet, 17-year-old. He was a local guy.
So thank you all for listening in, and hope you have a successful summit yourself from the to the Tsomothang. All the best.